We're being very aggressive in our preparation for this storm, and every Floridian should take this seriously and be aggressive to protect their family. Possessions can be replaced, your family cannot. This is serious, and we can't take chances. It is life-threatening. This is not a storm you can sit and wait through.
And if you're wondering why Floridians are prepared, it's because of Governor Scott taking the lead like that. And another thing he's done is he has allowed priority for gasoline to get to areas that are being evacuated. And they will be escorted by military or the National Guard, okay? So they're going to get gas into these areas with the military and the National Guard, which I think is just absolutely fantastic. They are absolutely taking this seriously. There's no question about it. We've got folks in Deerfield Beach that have been boarding up as well. Even here where we are at the Intercontinental, where, if you will, Biscayne Bay meets the Miami River, I see them putting boards up as well. So it's pretty much lots of buzzing going on. Now, in terms of the timing on this, you've pretty much got all of today. Today's going to be a fantastic day weather-wise. We got no issues. And I really think even a good part of tomorrow morning will be okay. But once we start getting into the bands on Saturday afternoon and then Saturday night and, of course, Sunday morning, all bets are off. So you got to be done, if you will, at the very, very latest with everything. Saturday at noon, that's when everybody needs to be hunkered down. Stephanie, again, where you are as well, looking for a little bit more power from the water there coming up on the beaches for sure.
Jim, that is the case, but I also really want to emphasize that this is an inland storm as well, Jim, and that is a problem.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people think they go inland, they're going to be fine, Jim. That's not going to be the case.
Yeah, if people, we're talking about 100-mile-an-hour winds potentially as far north as Lake City. Okay, and that's as the storm's winding down. So it's going to take a long time for this to wind down. Steph, and the fact that it's so wide with this eye wall, it's going to touch both sides of the state, just depending on where the center is. That'll determine your wind direction.
All right, Jim. So let's talk about that and give you some city timing. So Jim said, by Saturday afternoon, I mean, that's pushing it. He's giving you guys the absolute max. He's being nice and generous by giving you that time. I'm saying you got to be done today. I'm being, a little more on the non-lenient side. So Fort Lauderdale, Saturday and Sunday, that rain's going to come in. It's just you can't be putting boards up in the rain. So, that's the thing where be careful of what you're hearing from us. Jim is not saying, you have time to put up boards into our Saturday because it's going to be wet. So, he's saying other things you can kind of finish and button up there. West Palm Beach, Saturday morning until Monday morning. The worst is going to be on Sunday here into South Florida. Rainfall 8 to 12 inches, surge up to 12 feet. Melbourne, Florida, as we go up the coast. Remember, this thing is going up the entire state of Florida and potentially right on the center, maybe a little to the left, a little to the right. Hurricane force winds extending out 70 miles from the center, and that wind field is going to expand as this thing makes landfall and starts to kind of fall apart. Orlando, Sunday morning into Monday morning, rainfall 8 to 12 inches there. Look at our rainfall totals all the way up into Jacksonville, the first coast, 10 inches of rain for you, and that extends into Georgia and also into South Carolina as well. We could see a half a foot of rain there. In Charleston, you're going to get that onshore push because it's coming from the south, and so even if you guys aren't going to end up getting the center of this, which we still, you're not out of the cone, so it's still possible. What happens is a storm moves counterclockwise. Okay, so it's going counterclockwise. So on the right side, on the east side, you have that southerly flow. That's pushing winds from the south to the north. And guess what? The storm is moving from the south to the north. So on the east side, your vector is bigger for my mathematicians out there. For everyone else, basically, you have double the winds on the east side. Opposed to the west side, the winds go from north to south, but the storm is moving south to north. So you see how those kind of cancel a little bit each other for, lack of a better description that I can think of right now. Savannah, Georgia, Sunday p.m. into Tuesday morning, the rainfall 5 to 8 inches of rain. And again, that onshore push could be problematic there depending on the exact path. Let's go to Jen now, who's in Charleston, South Carolina. I can really talk more details. Jen, Charleston, that city floods so easily and so quickly.
Exactly, and there will be the concern of that push of water, as you talked about, Steph. So the surge component, of course, we've got the rivers in here, and the rainfall. In Charleston, rainfall will be, on the order of 5 to 8 inches, and that, if it comes in a short period of time, could also cause some issues. Now, there are evacuations in Georgia, not yet in South Carolina, but in Georgia, areas east of I-95, including Chatham County, and including the Savannah area. Again, that push of water and wind coming your way is the concern. Ongoing with that, the evacuations in Florida. We'll have an update on that coming up after this, right here on the Weather Channel.
The Lab is brought to you by State Farm. There for when things